Hey, everybody. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
It is Friday once again, isn't it?
Another Friday.
Yep,
But this one's in June.
it is. It's the first Friday in June, isn't it?
Yes.
Pretty cool. Hey, Ken says, greetings, fellow freedom fighters. Here we are gathering for our regular scheduled unprogramming information get together. Happy Friday, Tag and B, and all of our fellow freedom fighters. Great way to start every single live, right?
I like that.
Yeah, it's been a zoo around here. We've had a lot going on, and I'll show you guys lots of pictures of work and all of that stuff. Most of it's really been centered around the garden, which I don't have a bunch of pictures for. Which, ironically enough, right?
Like the big green bushes.
Yeah. So, you want to talk about the garden a little bit?
Because
you guys have been in there a lot.
I've been mowing and weed eating like crazy. There's stuff coming up all over the currants, and I've got 2 currant bushes, and both of them have berries on them. Elderberries are going to be a blessing this year.
I thought they were a blessing last year.
They're going to be an even more blessing this year.
Yeah.
I'm going to need more people to come and get some elderberries.
Yeah, it's actually pretty cool. Bee's got a couple friends from the community who come down. You know, like 1 or 2 will come down one day, and then one will come another day. She's out there every single day, but it's nice to get some help. And
yes, it is. We got some transplants out of the greenhouse. We got the eggplants planted, which I have never grown before. My niece gifted me with a couple of seeds of bride eggplant, and then I had the regular eggplant, and then MMR planted another kind. So we have 3 different kinds that we planted. So it's like, we go from nothing to let's try 3 different kinds in case one is, more attractive than another.
Okay, but before we continue, hey, I forgot to mention, I put a new mic in tonight for the live, so I'd love to hear how we sound to you guys, because the old mic, I was starting to get some complaints that people were having a hard time hearing us, and I had the volume turned all the way up. So if you guys don't mind commenting, tell me how the new mic sounds, if it sounds better than the old one, or if it's just the same and it doesn't matter or whatever. But thank you. But anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, I guess that just kind of reminded me to talk louder.
Yeah.
Eggplant. So then we planted the holy basil also, and a couple of poblano peppers that MMR had growing. They were already like a foot tall. They looked beautiful. They were ready for some dirt. Got all that planted. We also laid some cardboard down and hay in the rows to try to minimize the chore of weed eating. It's one thing to be able to zip down one area with the mower if you're sitting on it. It's a whole nother thing to weed eat a 3-foot section because you can't get the mower down there, but now you're carrying the weed eater miles, and it's a lot.
Did you get all your
old fast?
Did you get all your grapes and raspberries and everything planted?
Nope. So we got some new grapes and raspberries and blueberries. Yes. 4 blueberries, 3 raspberries, and 10 grapes. And we are going to plant them.
We ain't planting nothing.
We are going to work together to dig holes and place them where we want them.
You know what's funny about this? And you guys know this, and I harass Bea a lot. I love my wife. She's my best bud. But man, it's the standards are not the same. They're just not. They're just not. Because Bea will say things to me like, I could really use your help in the garden today. Okay. That's fine. I'll help you in the garden or whatever, whatever it happens to be. And then, yesterday I told her, I said, hey, I really need you to come help me in your barn. Okay. I really need you to come help me for an hour or 2 in your barn. It will make things go a lot quicker. And nope, just.
No, I did. I came and helped you.
You're saying that with a straight face?
What are you talking about? I came and helped you.
You came.
I put insulation in. I stapled it in. I held a couple pieces of plywood. No. Where was I? Was I in another dimension doing this?
So she stapled about 5 bats of insulation and held 2 pieces of plywood. I needed her for a couple hours. I got her for a couple minutes.
That took me a couple of hours.
So it just, the standards just.
You work so fast, and you think that others just work that fast.
Oh.
And if you want it done efficiently, I got to pay attention to what I'm doing. You know, to be able to line the paper up instead of just throw it in there and slap a couple staples on there. I've got to line up the paper and staple it in and make sure there's no kinks and make sure pull it up a little bit taller so that it's nice and stretched.
Yeah. Let me tell you something. The standards are not the same. They do not work the same. It's hard to find bee time to help tag, but it's expected for tag to find all the time in the world to help bee, right?
Not expected. Just I ask.
And
sometimes you don't have time. There's oftentimes I'm just left to do it. Figure it out.
Should we get some hellos in before we spin this completely out of control?
Sure.
Instigator was the first one in. Good to see you. Happy Friday. Carrie Davis, greetings to you as well. The greatest name on the internet.
Half of Lockwood
is in the house. We already mentioned Kent, but let's welcome him in too. Jane Marie, welcome in. Life with Mike and Jen. Jen, how are you? I hope all is great with you guys. Let's see here. East Tennessee, Kent and Paula are in the attendance. Looking forward to the peace which surpasses human understanding. I promise made to us by the Lord. Keep the faith. Glad to know that it sounds a lot better. Hey, David's in the house. David, I actually took a post from you from Facebook because I thought it was just hilarious and added it to the live tonight. Lazy Loper, how are you? Welcome in. Hack says it's much better. We have JCK Citizen Broadcaster. Good to see you as well. Justine Stanley, hello, hello. Mandy from Permatopia Farms is in the house. Let's see here. The beautiful Louise Wesley is with us tonight, as is the king himself, Jeff Juicy, Hefty Lefty, Amazon Mud Dog or Slick is in the house. My buddy Squatchy is here. How are you? American Roots. I got some pictures of you and B in the live tonight. I hope you are feeling better. Hey, all you prayer warriors out there. Jess from American Roots has been hurting a lot lately, and I'm not going to get into details because I don't know what she wants me to share, so I won't share any of it. But those
prayer, probably already too much.
Those prayer warriors out there, do your thing. Let's see here. Got that. Hey, and of course, Sharpshooter, right? Sharpshooter, how's your guys' project coming? You got the boards in? Are we ready for the next step? We're kind of waiting for a phone call to say, hey, I'm ready.
He's just got a little bit of rain, didn't he? Mm-hmm. He's probably waiting for a dry spell. I can't imagine that they didn't get any of that rain.
Mm-hmm. Louise says, isn't it like that at all farmsteads? It is the way here. Yeah. Yeah. She's talking about the double standard, how the rules don't apply equally for tag and for bee. They apply very differently, very separately, right?
I don't know.
You do know. You know. This is why I always say I want to live in Bee's world, right? This land of cotton candy, rainbows, and fairy farts.
Nothing wrong with where I live.
Hey, Redneck OG, welcome in, by the way. So, all right. Well, I think I got up at least for now on the hellos. Again, if you guys hear me well, if it's clearer than last time, I'd love to know it.
Clear.
There's a lot of people who said it was, but yeah, Hack says, welcome to my world, tag with Pippin. So apparently it's the same way, right? So the standards are different. Tag's work is tag's work. Bee's work is bee and tag's work. That's how it works on my farm. You don't think so?
No, I get up early. I make your coffee.
Oh, no, Dad. I never said a second you didn't work hard.
I don't need help doing a lot of that stuff.
Yeah, let's see here. Lover on Rampant, welcome in. Says I live there too. Dana Green says, hi, Freedom Lovers. Well, good to see you. And Sharpshooter said, I got to work on it a little bit Thursday. Now it's back to 6 inches of mud and clay. Yep, and we have gotten so much rain. I'm going to show you guys some amazing slides right here where I live.
Do you know what the totals were?
There was reports. Now, obviously, I can't verify it. Just, the social media that there was a couple places in our county, in the very northern parts of our county, they got 8 inches. In 2 hours.
Oh my gosh.
In 2 hours. 3 hours.
No wonder there's so many
Elizabeth, shame on you.
There were rescues, car rescues.
Yeah. Elizabeth says there's proper delegation. You guys will stick together no matter what. You know that? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
That's a smart lady right there.
All right. Well, should we get some pictures?
I think she probably learned that from you.
So these are pictures of farmers' fields. Me and Bee went today. There's an auction I'm going to go to tomorrow. And so normally prior to the auction, we drive up to the auction and just walk through it. And then B just kind of gives me a list and says, hey, I'd like this or I'd like that.
I'm interested in a couple things.
Yeah. So anyway, but on the way up, the road was washed out. You couldn't even take the regular road there, although I did. But they tried they said, hey, it's closed. And then I stopped at the road closed sign, and one of the dump truck drivers drove up, and he said,
and he stopped.
He stopped. And he said, hey, the water's over the road. And I said, how deep is it? And he said, oh, maybe 3 inches.
He said that much.
Yeah. I'm like, I'm in a Jeep Gladiator. Right. And if it's.
No, you said.
I'm going that way.
I'm going that way. And he said something, and you said, I understand you did not advise me to go that way.
I went anyway. But anyway, hey, Mario Mike, what's up, buddy? Mark Baldwin, what's up? So, yes.
And he went anyway.
Blessed with plenty of rain, but it is absolutely incredible. This picture I love.
That's a field.
That's not a lake, you guys. That's a farmer's field.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
And it was planted. You can see the green coming up. So I can't imagine that's going to.
Yeah, that's all bad. That's an insurance claim right there waiting to happen. Right, crop insurance.
There was a lot of that. A lot of overly flooded areas.
Yeah, this here is the Delaware River. And normally this river always has water in it, but usually it's going to be a foot or two deep. It's slow. I'll bet you right there it's 35 feet deep, 40 feet deep. It's way up there. I don't know. I mean, I didn't get in it, but you can see how close it is to the top of the bridge. We stopped on the top of the bridge, and of course, B's like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah, I'm like, "Why are you stopping? Like, this doesn't feel right." No, a log could come through and bang the bridge.
Mm-hmm. B thinks a log floating down the river is going to take out a bridge.
You never know what. I mean, never know.
Oh, look at that! Hack says, "Folks in our area say 10 inches of rain. We had a road wash away."
Mm.
Yeah, it was crazy. When we went to the auction, we drove through it, and then on the way back home, I was thinking, okay, we're going to drive.
We're going to go right back through.
Back through what I went through. By the time I got back through, they had the road completely closed, and you couldn't see the road for
a while,
probably a half mile. It was 100%
underwater.
Yep.
It was, and I actually thought when we had crossed through it the first time that, it's going to be, the water will be receded by the time we come back through. It'll be gone. We'll see the remnants of the rock or gravel or whatever. And no, there was more water on the way home than there was on the way down there. So whatever it was coming, it was all coming south. So.
Yeah, Mark says, and all that glyphosate roaring down the river. He's right.
Things you don't think about until Mark brings them up.
Yep. Love Runs Rampant says 100%. You never know. Jen says no stopping on bridges.
Yeah,
they're all outdated and built by the cheapest bid decades ago.
She's got a point.
And Mark says, and it's supposed to rain all weekend.
Yeah.
I need to make sure I bring a rain jacket with me for the auction tomorrow. I don't know if we're supposed to get rain. Hey, Mark, do you know when it's supposed to rain? Do I need to worry about the auction tomorrow? Anyway.
How much rain did you get, Mark?
We maybe got an inch and a half, but our local police department actually had to make some rescues.
Yeah, 3.
Yeah, this is right here in our town. Yeah.
Oh, did you see Jean posted that picture?
Oh, did she?
Of the water already gone.
Okay.
So what happened? That's the ditch. So they're basically on the road or headed towards the road. Mm-hmm. She drove and it just swept her right off and put her right there. Mm-hmm. So they had to walk over there and get her, and escort her to safety. Once somebody was washed off of Highway 75 and then, or no, 2 people were washed off of Highway 75 and then 1 person off of 235 or something.
Yeah.
But crazy. They had Highway 75 closed between K9 and K20 or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. I've never seen this much water where I live. And I was telling Louise earlier today that this is just not normal for Kansas. We've had an incredibly wet spring.
It's either crazy dry or
crazy
wet.
Yeah, and half of our state's in a drought, has been in a drought for years, but it's the other half. And it's weird that just a little bit of time changes that. Anyway, so we drove to the auction and we had kind of I thought it was kind of cool. We went to the auction and got done looking at everything. We actually went to there with Jeff and Louise just to kind of look at everything. And on the way back, the road was closed, so we had to find a new way. So we drove all the way around
Yeah.
and through a place called Blue Mound. Blue Mound.
Something like
Yeah.
that.
And drove back
It was
through
like
it.
a
And so I'm driving and I see way in the distance, I see this car and this lady is out of her car walking through the water that's across the road.
Well, you could tell she was trying to see how deep
Yeah,
it
she was
was
trying to see how
because
deep it
she
was.
didn't want to get,
Yep.
washed away.
Yep. And so I'm approaching her. By the time I get up there, she's walking back. So I just go right through it and stop. And it was Jeannie, one of our community members.
Yeah.
And so it was pretty cool. You wouldn't expect to see them out on that
Like,
road.
what are you doing? She's like, just trying to see if I need to go around. And he's like, I'll watch you. Go ahead and go.
Instigator says, rethinking those sewer lagoons now when they flood. Yeah, Love Runs Rampant says,
Oh, gross.
yeah, can we say engineered weather? Mark says, I helped Caleb divert his downspout so it wouldn't fill up the work site. Oh, cool.
That was smart.
Yeah, Mark, that you're welcome when it comes time to build. Come out and help. Louise says it's going to his brain tomorrow afternoon. Sharpshooter says there was 3 inches of water in my moat this morning, and it's mostly just mud now. Jen says more monocrops gone for this season. How it's going to affect the food system, fires, floods, and drought in various areas.
Oh, right. The food. The food.
Yep. Guys, this is why we really, really have to focus in this life on being dependent on ourselves. If we're pulling water out of the Delaware River, for an example, you're then susceptible to it.
To glyphosates.
Yeah,
whatever else is in there.
Or whatever me and B were talking about. That in a austere environment, not even the shit hits the fan, just an austere environment, you might not get the EMS to come if these roads are blocked off and you're kind of out there. So being able to have as much for yourself as you can, your own water systems. Right now, you're not dependent on on your own food systems and your own things. Darby?
I always have wondered how many of the first responders, if something was in our area, if something was catastrophic, how many of them would go to work or how many of them would need to stay to help,
I think
their wife and kid.
I think if the issue was violent, they would stay home. If the issue was just tough times, but relatively safe, I think they'd go to work. That's what I think. Mark says he's down to help. We are emergency response for one another, 100%. That's why I always talk about community, right?
Right.
And the wards of community. You should have, like we have a lot of people that I would consider community members here in Northeast Kansas, but they're all over the county and even in some other counties in the surrounding areas. And so how do we kind of lump together and, the 10 that are closest to me look out for each other in stuff like this, and the 10 closest to the next pod or ward or whatever you call it. How do we get that, kind of all built up where there's a calling tree and there's, those kinds of things. Squatchy says, we have 0 rain in Southern California for a bit and windy right now. Breezy. Okay. For a breezy and windy right now. Love on Dram says, we need water, so still need the swells, etc. Plan to have a plan for remediation. I think Billy and William have a good idea for that. They're really smart. They have good ideas for lots of things.
Of the of the land.
Yeah. Helen, welcome in. Squatchy says, speaking of emergency and comms, have you used Rocky Talkie? I have not. No, I don't even know what it is.
Maybe you should look.
I should. Write it down.
Right now. Rocky Talkie.
So this has been fun. So this is inside B's barn. And the very first picture you guys can see is the very first board that I put up. Right? So what we wanted to do is B's got some problems that we get to fix. And this year is a really exciting year for that.
I'm glad you're fixing my problems.
Yeah, I know. I just wish you'd participate in helping me fix your problems. That's another story. Anyway, so one of the problems that we have is B stores her feed in these blue barrels. You can see them in the second picture. But they're kind of just stored out in the open. And when she goes to mix feed, all the animals are everywhere. It's just a big pain in the butt. Then she's got machines like her milking machines and things like that need kind of a clean room space.
Yeah. And medicines and stuff like that. I say medicines, but stuff to stop the bleeding and stuff to
And
All kinds of things you need.
then the other big issue is we've got to get some dog kennels built, because specifically for Violet, for those of you guys who know Violet, she was shot. Somebody shot her. She was in a dead run, and you guys remember from the live we showed pictures of it, right through her chest cavity. And she is super sketchy when it comes to any kind of booms. We've got a big fireworks show coming up. And if I don't give a place where I can lock her up, we're going to have to lock her up in the house. And you don't want that. Or somewhere else. So she'll tear it up. So I've got to build 2 kennels, a grain room, and a clean room for her to put her equipment. So this was the task that B sent me out. Right now, I'm by the time we get to the end of this show tonight, I'm 19 hours in is how much time I've got in it right now. But anyway, that was the...
And I've got one.
You don't even have one. Maybe 20 minutes.
I've got more than that running back and forth for batteries and get me a drink.
How many batteries did you run back and forth for?
Like 5.
Oh, okay. In your B machine?
Hours.
Yeah. 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 Love Runs Rabbit says that building went fast. Go tag. Mark says Meshtastic would be a good system for communications out here if we could get enough people to utilize the system. I'd be interested. Yeah. Hey, Stan, welcome in. And Pete says, will you soundproof and insulate the indoor kennel? Yes, actually, I am insulating it. I don't know. I don't think I can actually soundproof it because there's going to be an open door on the front, because we want to make sure air can blow through it. Because if not, then July and in early August, it'll be so hot in there you can't stand it. So anyway, that's the first picture. And then that is not a good picture. We'll go to that.
You turned it sideways.
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah, it's a mess. So anyway, this is down B's barn. And so this is just me. That's the second picture, the picture farthest away from B and I. That's going to be her grain room. Right. And that's just a stack of plywood. Cutting. This is why I love to buy great deals when I find them. I found that OSB, me and Gypsy. I think that was all that participated in it, right? It was me and Gypsy. I think that's right. Anyway, we went and found it for like $8 a sheet of OSB. And so he bought a pallet or 2. I bought a pallet or 2. And it's been sitting there for, how long would you say? 6 months? 8 months? Been sitting there a while. I just haven't, I knew I wanted to get to the barn project to begin make her barn more efficient, but I just hadn't gotten to it yet. So let's see here. Half Bubble Off Plum says open cell foam insulation. I would love to spray foam it all. I'd have to fight B a little bit because she's always so weird about off-gassing. Yeah. Squatchy says 1/2 inch, 7/16. So almost 1/2 inch. Oh, I was with you on that adventure. We almost blew the tires right off the trailer. That's right. Mario and Gypsy and I went and hauled it all. And then we went to Gypsy's house and unloaded his.
Yeah.
And then we came here and unloaded it right there in that. No. So then you can see as the project progresses, so you've got the same feed room. You see those next 2 doors? Those are going to be the 2 kennels.
Got a picture of me?
Yeah. My poor truck. I use my truck as a sawhorses. I work right out of the back of my truck often.
Poor truck.
Yeah, my poor truck. But let me see here. Helen says, is that treated wood or in treated wood? So the only treated wood I use is the plate that I bolt to the concrete. Nothing else is treated. If those tires aren't bulging, you can add more stuff. That's right. You guys, I have a weird way of doing things. So like I'll go in the morning and I'll go to Home Depot and I'll buy 40 2x4s and come home, right?
He goes 3 times a day.
No, never. I've never gone 3 times a day.
I bet you have.
And in this project, I only went once a day. I'd get up in the morning, I'd go get a stack, I'd come back, run out of it. But I can blow through a load of wood.
You went through a stack of, you went to Home Depot and came home, blew through that wood, and then sent me for 10 more 2x4s. So
yes, I sent you to get 10 more because I was just that close.
Good thing I'm not participating.
Redneck says off-gassing from the spray foam happens within 48 hours. Then it's good to go. Well, I've watched some documentary. I've watched some documentaries that it can off-gas for a long, long time. Now, again, right? It's the internet, so it's got to be true.
Well, and two, since we've looked into that, stuff has probably changed. I don't.
Spray foam insulation in this barn would be amazing.
Yeah, that'd be really nice.
Yeah. Whisper Creek, welcome in. Yeah, Luis says Mario was the hero that day. Indeed. Yeah, Helen says, will you put circulating fans and exhaust in? Yes, so this is actually a project I'm going to start right away here pretty quick. I have a power system for it. So I'm actually going to put power in this whole thing, and Bee's going to get overhead lights. She'll get some fans. She's going to get a hot water heater. We're going to, you guys see all the way in the corner, there's a 3,000 gallon black tank that we had. Actually, Gypsy found this incredible deal. We bought those, I think, $750 a piece. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he found 3 of them. He bought 2 of them. I bought 1 of them. And I would have bought all 3 had he let me. But yeah, I would have.
Right.
I absolutely would have. But so anyway, we're going to put the gutters on and run it into there. And Mario's going to help with that project. So hopefully I can get all this building stuff done so we don't have to worry about building anything. We can just get it all done. But I pretty much have everything to do it. So yeah, Bee's going to get totally hooked up in this process and have lights for the first time in her barn, which will be cool.
And a place to lock the food away so that I don't have to.
Totally off grid and her own system. So yeah, Squatchy says also look into rodent loving the insulation and what kind can deter them. Actually, it's interesting you say that, Squatchy. So I don't know if you guys know this. Menards sells a rodent resistant spray foam.
Smells like mothballs.
And it stinks. Yep. So like where the building actually leans up against the building, every seam I used that stuff, and anywhere those rodents could get on the back, what attaches to the building so they can't get back behind the wall. And then, like her clean room, which none of it's even built yet, but it is now, but I'll show you guys in pictures. But like in that room, I'll put a full exterior door on it with a sill plate. Like it will be sealed, like a house would be sealed, so that she can keep that really important stuff, kind of taken care of. But so there you look, you've got, so the room furthest away is.
This is the opposite side.
Yeah,
so
I'm looking at it the other way.
Yeah.
Yep, I'm looking at the other way. So the last room by the blue barrels down there is the feed room. Then you can see the 2 kennels. And now I've built the clean room. I've got it from the other way. There you go. So this is where it sits today. I didn't get to work on it at all today because today's live day. So I spend most of the day getting ready for the live and collecting pictures from everybody.
That looks quite smashed. There's quite a bit of room in there.
Yeah.
Like where the black tank is.
Yeah.
There's room to move the tank closer to the new build so that we can move things around. We're contemplating putting the bulk feed bin back in that behind that white door.
Yeah, I've got a 3-ton bulk feed bin I bought at an auction that we're going to put in back right next to where that black tank is, so that when they come to deliver feed, they'll come right up. They'll drive right on the outside of our barn. They'll lift a hatch that I have to fabricate, but they'll lift a hatch. They'll fill it up, close it, and they'll be gone. But yet the feed will be stored indoors, so it's less likely to mold and all of those other kinds of things because the sun isn't beating on it. But I'll build in fans to it and exhaust and all that so that it helps. Mario says, I'll put the plumbing in as long as I can put a disco ball in the barn for the cows. Game.
So they can have a disco.
Well, and we need
cow
it because
party.
we constantly are dealing with the lost cow syndrome. So constantly, man, I don't know what it is with mamas and leaving their babies.
Oh my gosh. Today she took off running after that baby and it scared the dickens out of me.
Well, and then this morning we're trying to leave and the baby is squealing his head off because I don't know where mama's at. Yeah, mama's clear over on the other side, of the farm eating. They just walk away.
She's like, be back. Catch you later.
Yeah.
She knows about how many minutes he's going to sleep. Yeah. And so when he gets disturbed and wakes up and he's like, where is she?
Yeah.
Then our dogs, I don't know why, for some reason, they're hot on his tail. And so he takes off. He runs.
Yeah.
And so I didn't want him to run the opposite direction of where mom was, even though he'd go in a big loop eventually, I would think.
I don't know if you guys notice this or not, but if you look really closely at the baseboards, you see how they're already in? Like normally you'd put a baseboard on afterwards, but because it's a barn, I don't want the OSB touching the concrete. Mm. And so what we decided to do is I had a whole pallet of used composite decking that I bought at an auction one day for like $5. I bought a whole pallet of it because it was used. And I thought I can use that for something. So we're using composite decking as baseboards.
Yeah.
Right? Because it won't rot. It can get wet. It can get peed on. and I already had a whole pallet of it. So we went into this project only having to buy the studs, the 2x4 studs and the 2x6 rafters, because I had everything else in a pile.
Mm-hmm.
All the anchors to the concrete I already had, all the silicone I already had, all the screws I already had. I had all the OSB. All I had to go buy was the studs.
And you're just screwing it right to the frame of the building, so you don't need any joists or hangers or brackets or hurricane clip.
No, and this is the interior too. So this building will never see really even the sun.
No, but it helps to strengthen the outside building. So
yeah, so it's
attaching
it to
the
bolted.
Building.
It's bolted to the outside building. So it's bolted to the concrete, and then it's bolted to the wall.
And you found this when you started on one side of the building that you stuck a level up to it and went, oh, that's crazy. The building's the stud
Mm-hmm.
is leaning, and he went to the next one and he was like, next one and the next one and the next one, and he's like, every one of them is leaning in the same direction. And then he's building and he comes back and he puts the level on it and he goes, what the, and he goes and goes back one and does it and goes, that doesn't make sense, and goes back one and goes back one and goes, like, he's working backwards the opposite way, and he goes, what the heck? He's like, something is wonky, and it's like the building is just this metal shell that like has flex to it, which I did not know. I mean, you could hear when you're in the building, you can hear, it sounds like it's raining all the time.
Not anymore.
It's like pop, 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 pop,
Yep.
pop, pop, like
the
metal is moving or something. It's like you could hear it shifting, I guess. And now it's a lot quieter in there now. Just putting this little bit up, and it doesn't even go to all the way to each side. So it's just like right in the center of the building.
Let me explain it another way. So like for people who build. So when I put a level on the building, when I first started, it was a 1/8 of a bubble out of play, like a half bubble off plumb. This was an 1/8 bubble off plumb. So barely. I mean, it was out though, a little bit. And then another time I checked it during the day, it was that same 1/8 bubble off plumb, but in the other direction. So that building's moving in the wind a little bit. And so I'm like, this is bad. So I kind of stepped to it and said, okay, I got to get this building in. So by attaching this building to the barn, I take all the right and left sway out, right? And all the forward and back sway out. That's why that's what the plywood is so good at. So it's funny now. It ain't budging.
Yeah, it doesn't sound. It's
quieter. So basically, I built a brace. I built a brace for the big building and disguised it.
Stuff you don't think about. I mean, I had assumed that because it was all metal, the studs are metal, the building's metal, the door's metal, everything's metal, frame's metal, frame of the doors. Then I was just like, oh, everything's great. It's never going to shrink. It's never going to, and I didn't realize that it could just like.
It's blowing in the wind, and we get these 60-mile-an-hour winds out here, and it pushes it.
I know, but I just assumed that if it was metal, it's just like not moving.
And Mark says the Fieldmeister are little bastards out here. Yes, they are. American Root says it looks really nice. That's going to help out a lot. Yeah, I'm really, one of the things I really try to do a lot is how do I make the process of chores simpler, easier, less energy intensive. I put a post out on Freestanding today talking about, living off grid is not, when you talk about off grid infrastructure, it's not really what people think it is. Like most people say it's solar power, or it's a water well, but it's far more than that. It's how many gates do you have to open to move your animals to paddocks, right? I mean, it's how many months or weeks or days out of the year are you hauling water by hand versus having a pond, which is why we put a pond in paddock 1, right?
It'd be nice to have a pond in each paddock.
Well, we're closing in, aren't we?
Yeah.
And so when you're talking about off-grid infrastructure, it's not just solar and that stuff. So anyway, my mission always is, how do I make taking care of our farm, that much easier? Mario wants to know, how do you know you can pee on the baseboards? Well, I know that they're composite decking and they're waterproof. So I guess I've never actually peed on them, Mario. But if you would like to find out for sure, you can come out here. We'll set the camera up. You can do a full review. We'll even cut the pee section out of the baseboard just for you. We'll put it in a frame. Send it home.
Send it home with him?
Yeah. You like that idea?
Okay. Maybe saturated.
Yep. So hopefully I'll get to work on it a little bit tomorrow and then most of Sunday, and hopefully it's a wrap. get it all kind of put in. Alyssa says, don't use any braces to build. Proceeds to build the largest brace for the whole building. Right. It's one big brace disguised as a clean room, a feed room, and 2 dog kennels. Right? Yep. I like that. In my last shop I had in my old house, it was big walls and big tall ceilings. And so we were trying to invent shelving that I could brace big walls with. And we ended up doing a great job of it.
And it worked.
That worked great. But it is interesting how the creaks and stuff you hear inside this big metal building are far less now that this is built. It has gotten a lot quieter, and I'm sure we'll continue to quiet it up as we go on.
Yeah, it's not moving nearly as much as it used to.
Yeah, so we'll get there. I'll keep you guys posted.
Oh, lovely.
Okay. So this right here, you guys see this wall? See these 4 strips of insulation? Yeah, these are what B helped me with. She put in 4 strips of it. No, she didn't put them in. I put a couple of them in. You stapled 4, and it's not even a hand stapler. It's in Milwaukee electric powered stapler.
Yeah, it worked great. I got it done. Easy peasy. Took me an hour.
Would Kills paint help seal the wood against peeing friends? Yes, it would, but I'm gonna do something a little different. Conserve friends, by the way, welcome in. I have so much concrete board siding that I think we're going to run them vertically and make it look like lat and bat. You know what I mean? Where there's a lat and batten. I don't know what the hell
is it. Lat and batten?
Lat and batten?
No,
it's what do they call that? Anyway, I'm going to run them vertically, and then the seams I'm going to put a 1x2 over.
Beat and batten?
No.
Board and batten.
Board and batten, maybe. That sounds better. I don't know. But anyways, I'm going to concrete board this entire building on the outside when we get done. And because I have so much of it laying around, we bought a semi-load when I first board and batten. There you go. I bought 2 semi-loads over time. The first one when I built my house, and then the King and me found another deal in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and bought a whole bunch. And he's used a ton of it, and I've used a ton of it. So I'm actually going to concrete board the whole outside of it. So that will hold up really, really well to our peeing friends.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's see here. Ellen says B works so hard. Oh yeah, let me tell you, I don't know how I would have ever gotten this done had it not been for her help. She's fast, she's efficient, and I always feel just outclassed. Would you agree?
No, you shouldn't.
Mark says mint really helps deter mice. Yeah, board and batten. Any drainage or French sleeves. So there's French drains on the outside of the building, and we're going to have to dump her sink water into one of them. Yep, Gypsy says yes, board and batten. Thank you. So yeah, there's drainage around the building already. Plus, she has bigger muscles. She does.
I pump you up.
So anyway, all right. You want to talk about you went and visited 2 auctions?
Yeah, I went to an auction preview, and there were some pictures that I had taken. You see that black wind chime in the middle?
Is that what that is? The wind chime? It looks like a bunch of handles.
So So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The black 5 poles. That wind chime went for over $100.
Really?
Yeah. But some of these items in here, Louise ended up scoring. So I was like, I'll give you this. This was Lou taking videos of this land to show a community member who was on the phone.
Yeah, it's beautiful. And Lou, and I hope Lou don't mind me saying this, but she spent a couple $100 and got 3 truckloads of farm equipment for a couple $100. But I can't tell you guys how much money I have saved by going to these farm auctions.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look at those hay forks. If you can buy 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yep, for $5 a piece.
For 6 yard tools right there. Yeah.
And I stood at an auction where they'll take a whole bunch of those, like 10 of them, and stick them together and sell them all for $10 or something.
Yeah. Yeah. And then if they have one item and it won't go, it's not selling, they'll add it to a pile of something else to entice people to buy it. And then, they'll continue to add stuff to the pile until it it's sold for something that they want to sell it for.
Yeah, plaster, lath, or board and batten. Yeah, board and batten. I just couldn't think of it. But since I've got it, I'll use it. And then it's really durable.
Yeah.
You
And
know?
I think it'll look nice.
And it'll look nice when it's all said and done. I kind of would like to play with, I don't know if any of you guys have ever done this. Let me know if you have. But I think you can stain that concrete board.
It's primed. Doesn't it have primer on it? It's yellow.
Yeah, I wonder what stain. We'll have to try a piece. Because I think you can take concrete stain and stain it and make it look old and rustic. Because you like that look.
I do. I think that'd be cool.
I think we should play with it. At least.
Well, the boards on the bottom already look like rusty kind of orangey brownie.
Helen says you can put in a fire hydrant with some kind of fire safety system. So there's already a hydrant to the well already in the barn. I plumbed that in when we built the barn. But we have really upgraded our firefighting ability. I now have 2 rigs that you can fight fires with, and I will have 3 before long if I can get off of B's projects and back onto my own. But it'll be excellent. But I do agree with that.
Projects you could help me with.
Yeah, I'm sure. I think we should keep track. One day I help you, you help me the next day. One day I help you, you help me the next day. You like that idea?
We can do that. We can try it. Like I could put you in the irons to see if you can iron. Wash the toilet.
No, I'm not talking about those jobs.
I mean, it's all the jobs, right?
Okay, so
whatever.
Okay, so then you're going to go to work with me?
I work with you all the time.
No, I'm talking about.
I run fence. I hold this or hold that. Go grab these. Go grab me 10 2x4s from the most expensive place you can find.
Yeah, you guys like how she totally diffuses all that, right? Just skips right on by it. Yep. Jen says you can rattle can just about anything. Yeah, but they make lots of concrete stain, and I'd love to just try it. What's the worst that can happen, right? We throw the piece away. So, yeah, Helen says fantastic. Whisper Creek says, is this from the sale yesterday? Oh, not those jobs. See, Whisper Creek gets my point.
Those jobs,
right? Yeah, this was the one in Mayetta, Whisper Creek.
This was Thursday.
Yeah, what I thought was funny about this is I got these pictures today, and so the king headed straight for the crutches with the cup holder, and the queen headed straight for the cast iron.
Yeah, basically, she saw those from a room a couple rooms away.
Yeah,
she's like, "Oh, I'm gonna go check out that cast iron."
Yep.
Did you end up with any cast iron, Louise?
I love that. What a great picture.
Yeah, those had to have been homemade.
Yeah,
they don't come like that.
Crutches with cup holders. That's just great.
Hold my beer.
Hold my beer. Okay, so this is the auction I'm going to tomorrow. So they have lots of building supplies, lots of windows. Somebody needs windows. It'd be a good one to go to. These black squares, those are actually for a dock. And we want to create a walking bridge out to the island in our pond. So I'm fairly interested in a few of those, even if it's just like 3 that I could then, space apart and just put a walking bridge out there. That'd be great, wouldn't it?
It would move.
It would move. It'd go with the water. Yeah, the kids would love it.
Yeah.
Well,
then we could get out there and I can cut the thistles off. That I hate that I can't.
We can't get to
that. I can't do anything about it, and it's full of willow trees and thistles. He's like, just swim out there. Yeah, carrying a chainsaw.
Lover Dramp says, hold my 2 beers. Right. Yep. Jen says, yes. Instigator says, I put one of those horns with a rubber bulb on it on my dad's whaler. Mario said, I cannot believe I have never thought of that after all the years I spent on crutches. Probably would have made me spend more years on crutches if it had cup holders. Yep. Jen says, the Kansas Ninja Warrior competition. That is right. Yeah, Louise says, couldn't find it, so think they maybe gave it to a family member. She must be talking about, cast iron, right? Hey, RN, welcome in. You're not late. So anyway, I'm hoping to maybe make a dent there where you can see up there in the first picture, they're just standing by some windows. I want to there's 2 windows particularly there. I want to see if I can buy B to put in her clean room so that she can get some sun in there.
They're just little tiny windows.
Yeah. Hey, welcome in. No Lives Complete.
Without a pack rat.
Welcome in, pack rat. Yeah. Lover Ramp says, fun float bridge. Make sure they don't sink. Well, I mean, they swim in it all the time. So if
I
it's,
wouldn't want to.
if it sinks,
I wouldn't want to sink. I wouldn't want to get out there.
you don't get in the
I
pond
don't.
anyway.
That's what I'm saying. I would not like that. At all.
I got B to climb down the ladder on our dock to get in the pond one time. She got about waist down and felt a fish, and she's never been back in it. Huh.
Yeah, I was like, no.
Silly.
Comes in and grab me.
They're just fish.
Suck me down under.
Brown box is they had an attic ladder, which I'm interested in because the community building has an attic and they don't have a ladder up there.
Yes, and it would be nice to have that.
Yep, be nice to get up there. And then in the picture on the right is a paddle boat, and I thought the kids might have fun.
That was in a great shape too.
And it was in great shape. Yep.
That would be fun.
Yeah, because the kids just go out there and paddle all around.
Well, you could fit 4 people on that. There's 2 back seats.
Yeah.
And like a cooler.
Yeah. Yeah, so that'd be fun.
You just take a little ride around.
Right. Would you get in it and paddle around?
I don't know. Depends on who's driving.
Not likely, huh?
I would not be in the back, that's for sure.
RN said we had 10 days of no rain with high temps, followed by 20 days of rain, followed by no rain for 5 days and counting. Hard on animals and crops.
Yeah.
It wasn't a fish bee. It was the creature from the Black Lagoon coming to get you. Yeah.
Yes, and I'm not doing that.
And Mario, I'll guarantee you that fish that swam by her was 3 inches long.
It could have been a shark for all I know.
Yeah, there's no sharks. I promise you.
You don't know what comes out of those woods.
Yeah. Love Runs Rampant says, I love the lake and ponds. Well, without snakes. I just splash a lot. There's nothing. And here's the thing is, where we live, there is nothing in that pond.
Splashing doesn't even keep the fish away. They'll come up and they'll like nibble on you.
There's little
I'm
fish.
not interested in something sucking on me while I'm trying to enjoy water.
But you'll go out and hand pick bugs off potatoes and get eaten up by mosquitoes and chiggers, and that's way worse.
They're not eating on me.
Ma'am. Yeah, Mark
and
says,
you can see them.
I want a floating dock on my pond too. Yeah, super cool. Hey, Chewy Girl says, turtles. Turtles
napping turtle.
They are not going to bother you.
They catch onto your toe.
No,
we had the
no, they
goose.
don't.
The goose was in the pond, and there was a snapping turtle attached to his toe, and he was like trying to. That turtle was just floating, and that goose was trying to get away. Remember that? And Jeff goes, "That's weird. Do they always do that?" And I'm like, "What's he doing?" No, they don't do that. Something's wrong.
Love Runs Rampant for the win. Nibbling fish equals a spa day. Lots of money spent by rich people for that.
Nope.
Yep. And Whisper Creek says Killian almost lost a finger, probably to a snapping turtle.
Yeah, probably in a pond.
Yeah, I've got a picture of one of your children in the live tonight, Whisper Creek. Let's see here.
Uh-oh.
Jen says, you pay 5 pesos for the experience to put your feet in a tank with fish in Mexico. It's a real tourist attraction. See? And you get it here for free.
Nope. Nope.
Louise says, what about snapping turtles? They won't bother you. I'm telling you, you're way too big for them. They're just absolutely not going to bother you.
Louise saw the snapping turtle attached to the goose.
Mm-hmm.
I had to run around that pond like 5 times to try to get that off.
Yeah.
The goose.
Yeah, Louise says, yes, ask the goose.
Right.
Oh, my goodness.
And I'm sure that goose wasn't like, flirting with the turtle. He was just swimming.
Yeah. Mark says, the fish aren't the problem. Those snapping turtles will get you good. But I have swum. I can't even tell you in how many farm ponds over my life. I have never seen anyone get just swimming and up attacks a turtle. It just doesn't happen.
It just attacks you. It goes right for the jugular.
Yeah, RN says the fish in the spas eat the dead flesh off of your feet.
That is so gross.
Mario says the turtles in your pond are big enough for me to put a saddle on them and take a ride. Whisper Creek says, laugh out loud. Uh-oh, that's what I said, B.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, these are cool.
Yeah, so these 2 black boxes I'm interested in because, my old truck that I'm working on, we're going to put a flatbed on it, and these would be great toolboxes for up underneath the flatbed. I looked them. They're in great shape. I'll blast them or whatever, repaint them, all that stuff. But if I could get those bought cheap, that would be really good to, for my flatbed.
Mm-hmm.
Allow me to carry tools and stuff. So we'll see, but.
Yeah.
Hippocrates says it ain't the jugular I do worry about.
Right.
They're not going to bother you. I'm telling you,
Yes.
they're not going to bother you.
Nap on your turtle.
Snap on your turtle.
Yeah. No thanks.
All right, you want to talk about whatever this you got hydrating?
This is cilantro and onions.
There's no part of that looks like an onion.
Yeah, it was in the, I think it's a shelf up here.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry. They're chives. Garlic chives, I think.
Alligator snapping turtles.
Alligator snapping turtle.
No. And then what came out of it was
Yeah, so those chives and yeah, the onion tops, I think. Those green onion tops. Chives. What is the difference? Why are those so big?
baby.
Green onions
You sent me the picture. How do I know?
and chives and cilantro.
And cilantro. And you guys are storing up the cilantro because
So it was ready. It's always ready before the tomatoes and peppers. So we were trying to see if we can get it and dehydrate it and be able to use it for
salsa
salsa
party.
later. Yeah. And it really does smell like cilantro still. So
Maybe you guys should
hopefully
consider at the fall festival doing a big salsa day.
what? Making salsa?
Yeah. Wouldn't that be fun?
During the fall festival?
Or maybe the day before?
No.
No? Okay.
No, we're not making salsa during the fall festival.
Mm.
You know how crazy it gets.
LeBron Ram says, dehydrating, hydrating. I love these lives. So entertaining and educational. Yeah. Bee's a mess. Whisper Creek says green onions and chives.
Yes, that's what I was thinking.
That just wasn't what you were saying.
Well, because
right?
I said onions, and then I'm like, wait, not onions. Yeah, long onions. What are those? Green onions.
All right.
This is in the same spot I took this picture.
Yeah.
So the black paper is, or landscaping fabric, is where the eggplant went. Eggplant and
Is all that eggplant all the way against the fence?
Eggplant, holy basil. There's a couple of bell peppers or poblano peppers in there.
And this was you and MMR.
Yes.
Did this, right?
Yes. And over here, where these in the first picture, where it's like morning time, you can see it's more green. The stuff that's in the walkway there are thornless blackberries. So we had to dig them up. That's what's in those bucket to put somewhere else. MMR ended up taking them home to see if she can get them started.
Jen says thick and chunky salsa.
Thick and chunky.
So let's just be clear on this because this has been quite the debate in the community. Thick salsa and chunky salsa are not the same thing. They are not. Thick and chunky are two completely different things. And the salsa should come out thick and chunky.
With chunks.
Yes. If you could put a spoon in it and it will stand up, it's the right thickness. And then if you scoop a chip on there and there are big pieces of everything.
You want liquid on there too. You don't want just thick pieces of, you have to have a liquid.
And there needs to be some liquid, but there should be enough liquid in there and enough chunks in there that the spoon stands up.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
That's ridiculous. I think you should you should
come
and make salsa with us.
How many
Who
of you
makes salsa that the spoon sticks up?
I don't know. Everyone seems to make it like a puree, like baby food.
No, I don't make it like that. It has
No.
chunks of stuff in it.
Thick and
But there has to
chunky.
be some liquid because that's what you use to make other stuff.
Yeah. Lover on Draft says, I like not as thick, but chunky. I'm with you, B.
Not as thick.
I like it thick and chunky.
Oh my gosh, these goats.
Hey, Terminator, welcome in.
Get goats so you don't have to mow. That way you'll never have maple trees.
Yeah, Jen says, I recall that debate from 2 years ago. Yeah, the thick and chunky debate. Yeah, with
2 years ago.
Yeah, with Yoda. Me and Yoda were the prime
The thick and chunky.
partners in the debate. So yeah, these are goats chewing up these maple trees. That's pretty cool, huh?
Yeah, I get them to take, and they're what, 3 feet tall.
Yep. Were 3 feet tall.
And they went right up, they just went right to the top of the green and chewed it right off.
Mhm.
Went to the next one, chewed it right off.
Yep, gotta love it. And you know what's so crazy? Like if you look at that picture, there's green grass all around that
There
tree.
is stuff to eat everywhere.
Everywhere.
They want what they want.
Yeah, there you go. Pack Rat for the win says, I like it less watery than I usually get it served to me. Yes.
Then I
Thick.
usually get it served to me.
Yes, thick. All right, you want to tell you the story? You got a new toy on your toy, right?
Yes. Tag made me a toy or a tool collar to fit inside the, what do you even call those? There's like little plugs on the bed, and so you just
Bed stakes. is what they
pop
call
off the plugs and stick the prongs in, and there you got a whole 4 shelves to. It's like Jethro carrying around my load.
it. She needed a place she would drive around with the weed eaters, and they were always hanging out the back of her bee machine. And so,
or the trailer, or and then
whatever.
they just bounce around because there's nothing to hold them in the trailer.
Yeah, so I built her a rack so she could strap her
The weed
eaters
to it.
and then shovels and brakes and all that kind of stuff to it. I'm going to build another one for the other side, and then I'm going to put a rack on the top someday when I get around to it. But I just went down to the metal store and got some 1-inch 16 gauge square tube and a pile, brought it home and just manufactured it, cut it, welded it, painted it, and then slapped on it. Has that made your life better?
Oh yeah, I'm able to put a bunch of stuff on there.
Yeah.
It looks taller than the Kubota, and it is not.
It is not. It's the exact same height. And I did that on purpose because you have places you can connect on your roof when I go to build the roof rack.
Which I didn't know that's what those were for, but
yeah.
It also, I don't want it any taller because I want to be able to get in and out of the buildings.
Mandy says, I planted a long row of thornless blackberry along the side of the pole barn 2 years ago. Mark mowed it down a couple days ago. He didn't know and thought they were wild, thorny kind. Yeah. I've mowed a few things down in my time, if that makes Mark feel better.
I bought a bulk of those orange glow-in-the-dark yard stakes, and they're like 4 feet tall. And I have learned to stake all of the things that I want to keep because my husband has ran over a lot of trees.
Yep. Hey, maples are used for fodder. Duh. They love those. Pollard males each year. Mark says, snapping turtle bites are rare, but you definitely don't want to be on the receiving end of that rare bite. No, but this is the thing. So it's rare, and that's not going to prevent me from getting in the pond, right? And missing out on all that recreation for something that's rare. I mean, this is what our whole society does for this, rare thing. We're going to adapt laws and I ain't even going to rant. It ain't a big enough threat to keep me out of the pond. That's what I'll say.
Yeah, but you enjoy swimming.
Mm-hmm.
That's like a fun time for you.
I do. Mario says, does the B-Mobile have bulletproof glass like the Pope Mobile? No. We need to work on that, though. Terminator says, tag, we have till July 3rd and have to be out of my cabin. My son is bringing a fifth wheel to live in for the summer. We have my son's boss coming with bins and an excavator to crush all the trailers. That's sad. Terminator, I mean, I follow the news the best that I can. And you know what? Canada's a mess. It's like they're leading the charge for wokeness and, intrusion and, the erosion of people's rights. And that's saying something considering what goes on in England and France and all these other places. But I feel for you. Let's see here. Terminator says, B, is your maple seeds growing yet? I don't think so.
No.
Not yet.
Nope, I'm still babying them though.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of other stuff growing in there. Some onions and some tomatoes, and clearly used a little bit of used soil. Or I have a mouse moving stuff around, which actually might. Right here. Perfect. Jen says Jaws kept a lot of people out of the water. Right. And apparently sunfish and bluegill keep bee out of the water. Yep. I don't want it. I just don't want it.
Love Runs Rampant says, oh shit, don't pollard your males. I meant maples. Yeah, I'm I love that. Well, B, what do you think about that picture?
This is a nice time. See, this is fun. this is more fun than swimming in a pond.
You want to tell them what all that is?
Those are my new grapes and blueberries and raspberries.
Yeah.
This is the new addition to the food forest that I get to have your help.
I'll dig the holes.
Digging holes, yeah.
I'll dig the holes. I don't want to help plant, but I'll dig the holes for you. This is in front of my favorite nursery. I don't want to say our favorite nursery because we have a lot of nurseries.
Yeah.
But this is my favorite nursery, and
It's the most expensive nursery.
It's the most expensive, but they have the best plants, also the best customer service. And we talk about with the lady. I mean, she sat there and talked to you forever.
Oh yeah,
you know?
She was great. Help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway,
and then we got to go back and pick out whatever we wanted. So
yeah. So these are new additions to, and there's 9 grapes, 3 raspberries,
4 blueberries.
4 blueberries. So 9 and 3 is 12, and 4 is 16. So 16 new plants get to go in the food forest, which is pretty cool. Let's see here. Whisper Creek says, hey, we found 1 or 2 of our pawpaws are putting on leaves. Yeah, Bee's got a couple that are doing pretty good, don't you?
The pawpaws?
Yeah.
All have
leaves on them?
Yeah.
Excellent.
The 9 that I planted do. I still have 6 on the back deck that have leaves on them. I put them up on the top shelf because I think the goats were getting to them. Because I would go out there and they were just lopped off, and then there would be a brand new leaf. And I thought, well, a rat or something got to it, but then I just lifted them up and got them out of the way. And well, whoever's getting to it can't.
Yeah, Terminator says, B, I will send you more. You need to cold stratify them, the seeds, for 3 months. Then bring them out and start the seeds. That should be good timing. We would definitely take you up on that. But Terminator, can we trade you for something? Can we send you seeds of something else from down here? What are you interested in? And we would love to make that happen. Let's see. Whisper Creek says they sponsored the Fireworks Spring Festival this year. Who did? Who sponsored it?
The Skinners?
I don't think Skinners did. Tarwaters did. I think it was Tarwaters. I don't think Skinners did. Anyway, Mark says, do you have a tomato press salsa maker, or are you doing it the hard way? My tomato press changed my life and removed so much headache. So Bee's got a squeezo strainer that she uses.
Well, that doesn't.
That doesn't do salsa. That just does the paste, right?
Well,
it takes the seeds out, takes the skins off, all of that.
It does not cut the tomatoes the way Tag wants them cut.
No, it doesn't make them.
You have to old-fashioned hand cut all of the.
Yeah, Whisper Creek says Skinner's did. I didn't know Skinner sponsored it. I did not know that. Where was I? Apparently somewhere. But anyway, great addition to the food forest. Can't wait to watch them grow over the next handful of years. The food forest is becoming this total centerpiece of our farm, and it's just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And finally it's producing fruit on trees and stuff that have been in there for 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
And we're finally starting to really start to reap some of those benefits. So I'm very excited about that. I don't know if you are, but
finally.
I know, right? Yeah, I had to. This, you guys, is my buddy right here. This is Freeman, and having a pond that they have access to does way more than just water, right? This allows them to get in there when the flies are biting their legs. It lets them cool off when it's really, really hot. And Freeman, and it's so funny because when we first got him, he wouldn't even get in there. But we have another cow, Moo, which is our oldest cow. She's like 5, right? That's about right. 5 or 6.
Yeah.
Anyway, she gets in there all the time. But Moo Freeman has decided that it is time to be a water cow. And this is their pond in their paddock that they get to get into. But about every day now, I see him out there basking in the water. And it just brings me great joy. And it, again, it gives them a water source, but it also gives them recreation, and it also gives them a place to get away from the flies and to get away from the heat. And you can tell he's miserable.
Yeah.
What did Lou say to me? A hippo or a walrus? A walrus. She said, I thought that was a walrus. I'm like, well, he kind of is a walrus.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see here. Terminator wants to know if you grow black Russian sunflowers.
No, I haven't heard of those.
But we have lots of sunflowers. This is, sunflower state. Maybe that cow is what was nibbling on Bee when she was getting in the pond. Maybe, huh?
No, I would have known that.
Yeah,
that would be a bite.
Yeah, that pond they won't get into because they can't touch. This pond, they can kind of walk around the edges pretty good. That other pond's a whole lot deeper. Anyway, I think it's beautiful. I think he's in heaven. I think he's enjoying his life. I'm going to have a really, really hard time killing him later this year, but it is part of the process, right? Whisper Creek says, sorry, no, I take that back. They were interested in sponsoring, but we weren't able to make it in time. Got it. I was going to say, what's going on? And here's the picture, Whisper Creek, I wanted to share with you. Look at that. This is a wire wheel, a spool that's out in the front of the community building, and we were doing whatever it is we were doing, and I walk out there.
2 kids.
Yep. And there's Finn Man with Any Day on his lap. And you guys remember we named her Any Day because Bee was telling me she was going to be born any day for months. They call her Annie, but we call her Any Day, and she just loves people. And I think this is just an absolute beautiful picture.
Yeah.
You like that?
Yep.
Sitting out there staring at the pond outside the community building. And who knows what this kid was thinking about. He's a very interesting kid. But laying there with Any Day on his lap. I thought it was cute. You like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do too.
And she'll let you. She'll let you sit there and hold her.
Yep. And Mario, for you can see some of the grass is growing in out there, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Getting more and more and more of it,
Now it's been watered.
Yeah. Hopefully by July, there'll be a lot out there. We'll see. I wanted to prove to you guys that these ladies are always on vacation. They were supposed to be working. And guess what I caught them doing?
You cropped that.
I got them playing on the Jungle Gym. This is Jess from American Roots and Bee from Life Done Free. And so, yep, focus, play is temporary, accomplishments last, finish what you start. Teamwork starts with purpose, and you guys are on the Jungle Gym.
We're moving it.
you don't look
We're
like
doing something.
Let's see here. Mario says that. I'm super proud of you guys for getting that grass in. It's going to be such a game changer. I can't wait to mow it. And you know we're going to be doing some mowing too. Well, I think this is a picture I'm going to save forever.
That's crazy.
You and Jess playing in the Jungle Gym. Didn't know I was taking pictures of you, did you?
No. That you were like busy putting up a building, working, doing something.
I actually came back from working on the building to try to find my belt.
Oh.
You know why I didn't have my belt?
I think it's on the ground. I was looking for it.
Is that what you think it was?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was in the grass. I think you left it somewhere. I was trying to find it.
Yeah. Hey, Silver Lining, what is up?
Well, hello.
All right, let's talk about freesteading real quick. We added install buttons for the iOS app and the Android app.
Perfect.
Yep. And it's the website's getting more and more traffic every day. I put a post out there today. I'd love to get one every day, but I just can't. Life's just too busy. So freesteading.com, we'd love to have everybody participate. We'll see where it takes us. But it's growing.
Do you know how many people are on there?
I don't know off the top of my head, but just what I really watch for isn't necessarily the number of people, but just how active it is.
Yeah.
Who's posting what, those kind of things. But Mario says, Jess looks like she should have a caption above her head that says, freeze, nobody moves. B looks like she was trying to make a jailbreak. Oh, I need to change that picture. Because I could very easily make that picture. Where Jess is a police officer holding a gun. Here, let's go back. Okay, we got to go back. Hold on. Okay.
She does look like
Jess is holding a gun, and you're trying to break out of jail. This would be fun, Mario. Thank you for the firepower. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Anyway. Terminator said she's still trying to figure it out. Is there something particular you're having a hard time figuring out? Let me know if there's something particular and I'll walk you through it. There's a video on how to do everything on it already. Don't forget, second annual Freedom Fest, July the 11th from 2 p.m. to 11 p.m. Holton, Kansas. I do have a change in this. I was informed that Pat Militich's daughter qualified for state in swimming, and he was, feeling kind of bad. And I said, you need to be with your daughter, so we will not have Pat. We do have him rescheduled already. Thank you, Jen. Here is, that's the web address for freesteading. I'll leave it up on the screen. So we're not going to have him, but we do already have him rescheduled to another event, which I'll talk about in a minute. But so for right now, what we're going to do is we're going to do lots of activities. We're going to eat lots of farm-raised food, celebrate America's 250th birthday, and finish it off with a big old fireworks show. We'd love to see. Oh, look at that! Celebrating spelled wrong. Look at that.
Oh, it is.
It is. Oh my goodness.
Celebrating.
Celebrating. We're going to be celebrating. But anyway, we'd love to see everybody out there. It is closing in fast. We are about a month and a week away right now.
Oh, wow.
So it will go by very, 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 very fast. Mario said, I'm bummed Pat won't be there. I've been brushing up on my Croatian so I can communicate better with him. You know, the Croatian sensation, Pat Milicic, is from Iowa. You know, just how that stuff works, I guess. I don't know. You know, I'll bet you WWF Wrestling, the Iron Sheik wasn't from Iran, right? I mean, I'll bet you, you know, who knows? Some new things for you guys to know is we have set the date for the Harvest Festival, which will be held September 26th. So I don't have any details. They are still working on it.
Down.
I don't have Pat in here. He has already agreed and put it on his calendar, but we're working on some details behind the scenes as far as his, self-defense classes and those kind of things that he'll also do while he's out here. So I'm still working on the details, but I believe this is where Pat will come. We'll see how it works out. But Harvest Fest will be September the 26th. And again, I have
9/26/26.
9/26/26. Yep. And it'll be good. And so get it out there on your calendar, September the 26th. Again, I'll fill you guys in as Pippin and the beautiful Louise fill me in on details. Again, I have no idea what's going to happen. So this sign could be completely wrong, but at least I did celebrating correctly.
Did you make that?
Yeah. Love Runs Rampant said, and it's spelled correctly too. Well, I know, right? I mean, this is winning big. Love Runs Rampant, right? So that's where we'll be on that date, and then we'll finish the year off with the Freeman Festivus, which will be our holiday towards the end of the year. So we are closing in.
Geez, already thinking about winter.
Yeah, Mario says I can fill in for Pat. I'll be teaching plumbing. The 3 basic: poop flows downhill, don't lick your fingers, and payday's on Friday. Everyone bring a notebook. Yeah, you know, Mario.
Don't lick your finger. Gross.
You know, doing some, building a rainwater catchment system, some of those kind of things would be incredibly helpful to people. We could put you down, Mario. We could put you down. Right?
How to do it the right way.
And last thing I want to talk about before we get to the good news is can anybody guess how many times I called B's phone today because it was lost? How many times do you think I called you?
Twice?
No, because you didn't answer when I called the first time. She officially lost her phone twice today. And I had to sit on the phone. The first time I called it 7 times before we found it. Second time was only 3. Girls, let me tell you something. Quit putting your phone in your back pocket. It's a horrible, horrible habit to be
in the front pocket.
Then put it in a purse. Put it in your somewhere else. Don't put it in your back pocket, because what happens is you go running around out there.
It falls out.
It falls out.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, it happened twice today.
I think I know.
Yeah, twice today.
And if it fell out.
Yeah. So B is taking on a new task to create the lost phone support group.
I could just leave the phone in the house, and then if I need to get a hold of something or somebody, then I'll just come back in.
Just don't put it in your back pocket.
Am I supposed to carry it around in my hand?
Get a pouch and put it on your belt like you do your multi-tool.
Oh,
I don't know.
My gosh. This isn't the 90s.
There you go. Instigator says pants with cargo pockets. There you go. That would work too. Yep.
Preferably flat.
Yeah, Mark Dope says put it in a sports bra. Would work too.
That's the high pocket.
Right. RN says, and RN says tag, buy her a phone holster with a belt for it. She has a beautiful belt that she keeps her gadgets on now. Right? She could put it in there. Lover and Graham said make her a Vanish holster. I'm fine with that too. The point is, do not put your guys' phone in your back pocket. It is a bad idea. Someone's going to walk up and take it. They have all your information. And in today's world, that's dangerous. Someone's going to walk up behind you with a scanner and take your information. That's also a bad idea. Or you're going to bend over out in the farm where the cows are. You're going to drop your phone in a pasture and you're never going to find it again. And then you're going to be coming in the house trying to explain to your significant other why you need another $500 to buy another phone. Right? That's how that all turns out. Mark, I know it's Starla. I'm just playing because it said Mark. It was funny. Yeah, Helen says the phone should not be on your body. I actually agree with that. But you know what I could do? EMP Shield is now making Faraday bags. Now, they haven't been released publicly, and you guys maybe don't even know all of this, but I could get some fabric, and I could make you a Faraday holster for your hip that it goes in and blocks all the signals.
That's a good idea.
Then you could have it on your body, right? Gary Davis says B needs a fanny pack.
Fanny pack. Yeah. Bring back the fanny.
And Mario says, if you play the record backwards, it says, be lost her phone, be lost her phone. Yeah, again. At Dollar Tree, they have a case with a Z-strap that goes around your upper arm. Gypsy says a fanny pack. Yeah, I think I'll build you a little holster out of Faraday material, out of some scrap Faraday material that you can put on it. And that way you don't have to worry about any of the signals.
But if I need it, I could use it.
Yes, but Hippocrates says if it blocks signals, it won't ring. No, it will not ring. Absolutely will not ring. But what it will do is in an emergency, you'll have your phone.
Yeah.
But again, putting it in your back pocket's a bad idea. Yeah, great idea, Tag. Yeah, maybe we'll do some Life Done Free Faraday holsters.
That's a good idea.
Cell phone holsters. We'll just make like 10
just little pockets. Little pockets that you can put on your belt.
Yeah. That you can put your phone in.
That you can put any phone, any size in.
Yeah. Gypsy says, Louise leaves hers in the house so people call me when they need her. Right. Yeah, but
I know if I need to get a hold of her to call you.
Yeah, but do you notice where Gypsy carries his phone? Not in his back pocket.
On his hip?
Yep. Not in his back pocket. So, anyway, I believe that we have made it all the way through the farm stuff, which is pretty cool.
Yep. And it's been an hour.
Hour and 17 minutes. So we're
cooking right along.
Love Runs Rampant says, except you still won't be able to call her. Well, here's the cool thing. She don't answer anyway.
Because I don't know where my phone is.
And when the phone's in her back pocket, she don't answer my phone calls. So I'm going to experience the exact same life, except now she'll have an excuse why she's ignoring me.
Yeah. Right. It was in the pouch.
Right. Instigator says, being on vacation all the time is so fun. Y'all have a Faraday?
Oh, have a Faraday.
I hear that if you build a tinfoil hat holder for it, it gets better service. Depending on where it is. Inside, it might get worse service. B, if you leave your phone in your house, then when you get into an emergency, you'll have to go to the house before you can call for help.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why she's got to carry it on her. Just don't put it in your back pocket. Jen says, we have Faraday bags for laptops, tablets, and phones. The phone ones have a strap. Get to sew and tag. Yeah, I ain't sewing nothing. I'm just going to ask him to sew.
He's a good seamstress.
Yeah, I don't want to sew.
He has his own sewing machine.
I do have my own sewing machine. I have an industrial sewing machine for sewing like tarps and stuff in my shop.
That was part of when I was looking for a husband, I was like, can you build? Can you sew?
And on the contrary, when I was looking for someone, I was thinking someone that lives in fairy tale land that won't return my phone call. And we both found exactly what we were looking for. How wonderful. Yay. We found exactly what we were looking for. Man, I never looked at it like that.
What a blessing.
The Terminator said, B, the last time I put my phone in my back pocket, I forgot, went to use the porta potty, and you can figure what happened to my phone, right?
Yes, it falls out every time you go to the bathroom, too. Yeah.
Hack says, can you send Pippin the Fall Harvest Sign? Yeah, and I just made a quick one. So, Hacks, I will edit it any way we want. Again, just a generic placeholder, but I'd be happy to do that. Helen says, get a bullhorn and put some on a pole so when you call her, the whole farm can hear it. I actually kind of like that idea.
Everybody goes crazy.
Yeah, I kind of like that idea. Yeah. Let's see here. Gypsy says, ditch your phones and carry walkie-talkies. I don't mind that. Kent says, I carry mine in my front pocket. Yeah.
Pockets aren't big enough to...
Well, here's another good idea. Helen says, or a wrist phone. You know how they have the smartphone now that you can call
Yeah,
from?
but I think it's like putting something in your wavelengths or something into you. I don't want to.
You don't want to do that, but you'll put it on your butt.
Well, I would rather not, but I don't have. Where am I going to put it? I would if I would put it in my high pocket. I didn't want it close to my heart, so I would put it in my butt pocket.
So we don't want it close to our heart, but to hell with the ovaries. Yeah.
That's my butt. Put it in my sock.
No. Carrie Davis says low expectations, never disappointed. Right. We're clearly wired very differently. Right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Anyway.
For sure.
Instigator says chest plate carrier with Molly pouch. She has them.
Could you imagine? That's going to be hot.
I brought her one home from a visit to special operations equipment. Her own I brought home, and she never put it on. Yeah, Helen says, "Be right, no wrist watch." I would rather have it on my wrist than on my heart or on my butt.
Why?
Because it's a long ways from. It's a further distance away from my organs.
Mm.
That makes sense, doesn't it?
Which organ?
All of them, except my skin.
Skin's an organ.
Okay, but the skin's on all of them, so nothing's changed there.
Well, I don't. If you're putting it in your butt, is it?
I'm not putting anything in my butt. So stop that theory. I don't know what you got. Some new friends you're hanging around. Something should be happening. Home. No. That's what.
That is not what I meant. Pocket.
Put it in your back pocket.
In your back pocket.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Love Dram said, "Oh my, I can only imagine the conversations y'all have in person and off the internet."
Oh my gosh.
I love my wife. She's a really great human being. But yeah. See her latest ideas?
Building a barn.
Yeah. Don't put your phone in your back pocket. Yeah, Helen says, let's stick to bullhorns. I agree. Yeah, Jen says this is going south fast. Yeah, Starla says, tag, have you had any squash yet? No, but they did plant some. And Backride says an important difference. Yes, very important.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
That's not what I meant.
All right, you want to get to some good news tonight?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. So first slide, I just wanted to say that Tulsi Gabbard, as you guys know, her husband got diagnosed with a rare form of bone cancer, and she resigned a week after the CIA raided her home. And she put these posts out. I'm not going to read them just because we've got 36 minutes and I have like 30 slides. But basically, from all of you, any of you guys who want to, he made it through surgery. And I guess I'll read the one, her response. She says, my husband Abraham was diagnosed with a very rare sacral chordoma. The surgery to remove bone and the surrounding tissue lasted almost 7 hours and was successful. He had a rough night and is in a lot of pain, but he's finally home resting. Now recovery begins. We're so grateful for the outpouring of prayers and kind messages from all of you. Our hearts are full. So you prayer warriors out there, Tulsi's always someone I really enjoyed. She seemed to be so incredibly sincere. Again, I don't know her, but it's someone I've always enjoyed. So I just thought for you prayer warriors out there, and yeah, Starla, that's right. Cancer sucks. But anyway, apparently everything went okay and off and running. And, right here, maybe another week or two, I can go down a rabbit hole here. But for now, he apparently made it through surgery and he's home recovering. And that's great. Aaron says, tag, has B made you cinnamon rolls lately? No, B hasn't made me cinnamon rolls in 2 years. How long
It's been a minute.
2 years at least.
It's been a minute.
Yeah. I build barns. She don't make me cinnamon rolls. I build racks. I build racks on the side of her machines to make her life easier. I don't get any cinnamon rolls. I build fence. I build gates. I build pens. I dig holes for trees. I don't get any cinnamon rolls. No. Helen says, B tag loves you and worries. That's why he's calling. So carry a beaver. I do love you and I do care. Yeah, Helen, thank you for the prayers. Yeah. What else we got in the news? Oh, I got to kind of come clean on something from last week. So I showed you guys this whitehouse.gov aliens, they walk among us. It's a really weird website. So you can't just scroll all the way to the bottom. You have to let it type out and you're reading it along the way. And when you wait long enough, you can get to the bottom and actually kind of uncover what they're talking about. And someone else had talked about this. What they talk about in here is the illegal immigrants coming across the border. It's not about aliens. They're doing a spin on it. Mm-hmm. But if you actually wait and let it do its whole thing, you'll get to the bottom line, and it will show that. Let's see here. Starla says, I started with thyroid cancer, then breast, now multiple myeloma, and leukemia, but I am strong and a fighter. I will beat it. It's hard, but keep the faith. Just keep it going. Yep. B, have you ever grown hoping squash?
No.
Or hopping squash? And American Root says, don't let him fool you. He gets cinnamon rolls. I've got your 6, B. Okay. Hold on. The question wasn't, did Tag get cinnamon rolls from anybody? The question was, and I can, repeat it for you here. There you go. I'll put it back on screen. Tag, has B made you cinnamon rolls lately? The answer is no. B has not made me cinnamon rolls lately.
I have not.
Yeah, that is a true statement.
Other people have. Tag gets cinnamon rolls. Tag gets plenty of sweets.
Just says, boo, boo, poor baby. Yes, that's exactly right. Got to go bust a brother, don't you? Anyway. So I wanted to show the first picture here is basically from that alien website. And if you go in, this is how I figured it out, is you get into these little boxes. And I actually looked at Wichita, Kansas, and it talked about criminal charges from assault to immigration to all kinds of things, and from countries of origins of Cambodia, China, People's Republic of Colombia, Cuba, El Salvador, etc. So anyway, it was not really about aliens. It was about illegal immigrants, which again, someone talked about. But anyways, just wanted to tell you guys that after more digging, I walked that one back. But I do find it fascinating that even that, all of the stuff going on, like Rep. Lauren Boebert, says there's a lot to do with portals in this UFO documentation that we're seeing in Congress. Is there breeding between these biological beings and humans? We need to start asking these questions. So it's still kind of, they're still talking about it a lot. I don't really know what to make of it other than Project Bluebeam, to put some holograms out there, get everybody scared. I don't have any idea. Starla says squash cinnamon rolls. That would ruin a cinnamon roll. Yeah, Packrat says, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, be carrying an alarm device that's loud on you that you can clip to you. And they make a lot of those, just kind of alarms. Let's see here. So you guys know the SAVE Act did not pass. I don't know if you guys are following that. And if to just get you guys up to speed, the SAVE Act would require voters must show photo ID. All voters must show proof of citizenship. No mail-in ballots except for illness, disability, military, or travel. No men and women's sports, and no transgender mutilization surgery for children. And I don't see anything really wrong with any of those. I can't find an argument about why we shouldn't have to show ID to vote. That makes sense to me, right? Yeah. This is how laws are made. I don't know why. I don't see a problem. Why would anyone have a problem with men and women's sports? From a physical perspective, women are not going to compete.
Right.
It's just the way it works. I mean, it'd be like putting us in an intelligence contest. Men are screwed, right? So I don't see a problem with that. And no transgender mutilization surgery for children. Why? I've always said this too, regardless of how you feel about all of these things, why are we teaching any kind of sex to kids in 3rd and 4th and 5th grade?
Yeah.
Any kind. Heterosexual, homosexual, transgender, any of them. Why are we teaching any of it? But who knows? Anyway, so it did not pass. And Elon Musk came out and called for the senators to be removed that voted against the SAVE Act. So basically, it was very, very close. And there were 4 votes that kind of pushed it over. There were Republican votes. Tom Tillis, Lisa Murkowski, Mitch McConnell, and Susan Collins voted with the Democrats in order to not pass this legislation. Let's see here. Starla says, Tag, how do you feel about them limiting the powers of Trump and Iran? I think Trump's powers should be limited. This is why we have a checks and balance system. Nobody can have all of the power. There's rules in there about the president can, wage conflict for 30 days and then needs the Senate and the House's approval. So I support it. I think nobody should have too much power. This is why we have checks and balances. Let's see here. G-Dog says, by the way, welcome in, says, it is because a Supreme Court justice can't define what a woman is. So can't determine if men in women's sports are legal. See, this is absolutely crazy. I get so tired, and you guys know I've been hard on Trump, but I get so tired of listening to people say that MAGA have a mental disorder coming from the people that, put litter boxes in classrooms, can't tell you what a woman is, right? I mean, this is not complicated. This is not, just absolutely not complicated stuff. I mean, someone that wants to say that there's 47 genders then wants to tell me that, a lot of my friends are big MAGA fans, right? And that they have mental disabilities. It just drives me up a wall. But this is exactly right, G-Dog. What else we got here? It's official. Nearly 48 hours since California polls closed and nearly 4 million votes, 42% are left to count. This is crazy to me. So California had a bunch of elections, and who knows how it will all go. But, a country of India, for example, can count a billion people in a day. Many Florida can count all of its in a day. And they're saying it's going to take 30 days, right? 30 days to count the votes. And it's in the early stages, the Republican was winning in California gubernatorial race. But now it looks like they're coming back in. It just smells, completely fishy.
They need time to cheat.
Yeah. One of the things that really worries me about all of this, and this post from MS Now, I thought was just super interesting. It says, you are willing at this point to forgo basically every conservative issue and let the Senate fall into the hands of the Democrat if that's what it takes to kill the AI data centers. And this lady says yes. The liberals being on the side of anti-data center, the Democrats being on the side of the anti-data center might just be a ploy to draw this exact crowd. Right, to say, hey, we're just not going to have it. Let's see here. Starla says, massive gone, Green gone. Now we need Murkowski gone. I don't see how any of it will make any difference, Starla. How many financial transactions per second versus votes being counted? Right, what a great point. Right, I can buy anything, and it's the whole process, hundredth of a second, right? They have to go to get extra boxes they've stashed just in case, allegedly. What about leak on phone call about Iran testing nuclear weapons between Pakistan, Iranian president? Yeah, I seen that. You know what, though? Here's the thing. How do you believe any of it, first of all? I mean, I'm reading reports today that Iran has nuclear weapons. Not maybe, but they have them. I mean, and so who knows? I don't think you can trust anything in the news, and I wouldn't trust a single thing I'm telling you guys tonight. And the good news is fact, because I can't tell you. I wasn't there, Packrat says, word is Pratt is getting hammered with Bass mail-in ballots. Yeah, that's actually on that topic, I believe. Right, so Bass, you guys remember in the Palisade fires over there, right? And it became such a big deal. How in the world Bass is leading in the Los Angeles mayor race? I have no idea. I mean, how could you even consider it? Megyn Kelly went on to say, how are the citizens of LA even considering Karen Bass after what happened in the Palisades? And then Adam Carolla said, they think this way. I'm a Democrat. That's how I vote. And I don't care if the city burns to the ground. Absolutely insane, G-Dog said, make it make sense to me. Conservatives should logically count votes slower than progressive states. I agree. Logically, that would make sense. Except I would argue that it's a one-party system with a bunch of players behind the scenes, and they're sitting around a table laughing at all of us. That's really what I think. Thanks for all the efforts to all of the people all over the country. Nearly half of all data centers planned for 2026 have either been delayed or canceled. The American rebellion against AI is gaining steam. And this is what I was talking about before, about how the Great Awakening's here. We're seeing more and more of it. In Imperial Valley, residents run the data center developers out of a town meeting, chased them out into the parking lot, into the car, and they drove away. Hundreds of residents showed up at a planning commission meeting in Allen Park, Michigan, to voice their opposition for a new data center. They erupted in applause after the vote rejected it with a 7-2 vote. And you can see the residents cheering after they said no more data centers here. And we're seeing more and more and more of this. And again, this is why I say the Great Awakening is here. 20 data center projects canceled in the first quarter of 2026 after local opposition, $41.7 billion of investments, 3.5 gigawatts of electricity demand, and the trend is accelerating from near zero cancellations in 2023 to 20 in a single quarter. The backlash hasn't peaked. It's going vertical, and you can see that in the graph, right? This is, right, the nose, right? Kevin O'Leary says he screwed up. He said, what a 180. Just a month ago, he was saying the Chinese were behind the data center protests, right? The Box Elder County, Utah's data center. You guys remember this was that 40,000 acre data center that was going to use more electricity than the entire state of Utah. Now he's coming out saying that he's going to reduce the size to 50% or smaller, and it won't be the world's largest anymore. Utah's haven't shown what happens when people keep speaking up. So this is all pressure, you guys. This is the pressure from the community that's making these people begin to back off. And I think we absolutely have to keep that pressure on, right? Let's see here. Packrat says, I've heard it said voting is the adult version of writing to Santa Claus. Yeah. And Starla agrees. I actually agree as well. Well, let me back up. I agree that's true in a federal election. I don't necessarily think that's true on a local level because I think we can still influence quite a bit locally. Top journalist Megyn Kelly exposes the absolute horror of the new AI surveillance state, and I'm glad that she's calling it that. She confirms highly advanced AI systems are already blackmailing owners, warning that elites will soon weaponize private medical records to destroy ordinary citizens. She went on an interview with Sean Ryan, and he confirmed that the tech elites are secretly buying underground bunkers. I don't know if you guys have heard this, but if you haven't, it's absolutely crazy. All of them, Altman, Zuckerberg, Musk, they're all building these remote retreats. Now, to have that kind of money and to have that kind of success, you obviously think about lots of different preparedness issues. But yeah, they're all doing it, right? Mark Anderson said that we had meetings with the Biden administration and they told us to not even start AI companies because there's no way they would let them succeed. And this is them talking to Joe Rogan, right? And Joe Rogan says, well, what do you do after a meeting like that? And Mark Anderson says, you go endorse Donald Trump, right? So what he's saying is the Biden administration wasn't going to allow the data centers in. And so that was part of the rush to get Trump elected. Another component of the AI centers we always talk about is the flock cameras, right? And the Oklahoma source reported that flock cameras can now report you to the police if it thinks your movement and patterns are suspicious. So the AI in them now is smart enough, they can go ahead and make the report to them. And what's crazy is as Liberty disappears, the bags come out. There are photos, guys, everywhere of people putting bags over flock cameras, cutting them down, right? And do not go destroy public property. That's not what I'm saying. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. But I find it super interesting where people are talking about all the ways to defeat them. I shared some of them last week. The introduction of Liberty said, man, what kind of terrible person would spray their license plate with Rust-Oleum 214944 reflective coating in order to render it unreadable by red light and toll cameras at night? What is society coming to? And, they're just being funny. And I don't think there's any laws that would prevent this, but I'm not a lawyer, so don't take my word for it. Not saying do anything. I'm just saying people are pissed off and they are standing up. Bunch of BS when you look up Medicaid and it says in plain English that illegal aliens qualify for emergency Medicaid, but I don't, as sick as I am. Yeah, that whole system it needs completely rebuilt. Will be cool says I got 40 acres and a shovel, right? If I remember, the Obamas built their underground retreat years ago. They did, as have many of them, and to include the Trumps. With the World Cup only days away, there have been repeated sightings of suspicious people coming in and out of the manholes in New York City. The majority of attendees will be staying there. They are clearly planning something. I don't know that means they're clearly doing it, but that's what Matt Wallace says. Why isn't this being investigated? Do New York City Mayor Zoran Mondami and Mayor Michael Kennelly actually have a real plan for the millions of visitors coming into the regions? There's millions of people getting ready to flood New York City, and there's been a bunch of closed circuit TVs filming people coming in and out of the underground tunnels. 3 men wearing partial hazmat suits captured on camera entering the sewer networks in New York City. I believe something much bigger is happening underground. What are they doing? I'll leave that up to speculation. Instigator said Florida's 2025 statute makes it illegal to use license plate obscuring device, any manual, electronic, or mechanical device designed to hide or alter a license plate. Interesting. I did not know that. No, I'm not suggesting you do any of those things. I'm just sharing the news. California tech executive been charged conspiring to illegally supply more than 250 tons of U.S. networking and encryption technology to Iran's military and nuclear program by routing shipments through the UAE over the past decade, and he was arrested, which right on the heels of everything else that's going on, right? Israel and the USA killed the Iranian negotiating team. So apparently the people that they were negotiating with, they blew them up. So now they've got new people that they got to talk to. This was reported by CNN's Dana Bash. So what you're saying is Israel has now killed the people that America was negotiating with? It's unbelievable. Yeah, wow. Right. Let's see here. I just spoke to President Trump 20 minutes ago, and he told me that this is coming from Fox News. Brian Kilmeade says this. Trump said Iran had thousands of missiles pointed at all of these Middle Eastern countries for the last few months. They were going to take over the Middle East. They were going to control it. The UAE, Qatar, Oman, Saudi Arabia, they had 1,200 missiles pointed at these countries. All these nations were afraid of Iran, and they are not anymore. But they had a reason to be afraid. We have knocked the hell out of them like no other nation could, and they still have remnants left. I think it's interesting how the narrative has now gone from we can't let them have a nuclear weapon, and maybe it's the same one, to, okay, we really go over there to protect all of these Arab nations. In continuing efforts to support the front in Iran, the USS George Bush has entered the scenes, which is another aircraft carrier. There were already 3 there before. Now, maybe one went back. I don't know. I did not read that, but another one, the George Bush, is now there. U.S. analysts believe President Trump is an idiot for agreeing to give Iran $300 billion in reparations. I hope this isn't true. There's a lot of reports out there saying part of the negotiations with Iran is that America is going to pay for the rebuilding of what we bombed. So if you can imagine sending them $300 billion, so they got rid of all of their old tech, courtesy of American missiles, and then we get to bring in all this brand new, fresh tech, and we'll be right back in the same boat in a few years. Hard to tell, but I certainly hope that's not true. In the provision in the National Defense Authorization Act to integrate, synchronize the U.S. and Israel militaries. This, guys, is insane. Congress quietly moves to integrate U.S. and Israel militaries in the 2027 National Defense Authorization Act. So there's a section in the Section 224 inside the National Defense Authorization Act that kind of suggests that they can merge the armies in some ways. There's a video of Netanyahu that talks about how he actually wrote to a member of Congress to put the Section 224 into the bill. Let's see, Alex Jones reports that Netanyahu was bragging that he wrote Section 224 of the 2027 National Defense Authorization Act that hands control of the Pentagon over to Israel. And MatrixBot says American citizens who criticize Jews or Israel will now be monitored by the FBI. We will monitor social media and check your bank accounts. I have 40 analysts working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Yikes.
Yeah, Mark says, honestly, there's no way we can beat Iran. Oh, I don't agree with that at all, Starla. I think if we were seriously committed to doing it and we could absolutely do it. But the thing is, we got enough problems at home. Why are we even messing with it? I don't know. I'm not a big fan of it. There could be an attack on by Russia on NATO as soon as 2030. To me, this one's super interesting because of the stuff that I've shared in the past. But so you've got Europe, Britain, talking openly about war with Russia by 2030. And I've had my connections tell me that America was planning for conflict with China by 2030. And so to me, that's interesting that that's the same year comes up. Could be absolutely a coincidence, but I found that interesting. Putin declares multipolar orders advising nations to pull out of assets of Western banks. So Russia and China have been making big movements lately to try to get rid of the dollar and get rid of American dominance. In the meantime, the European Union just banned cash payments over 10,000 euros. So in Europe, you cannot pay more than $10,000 for anything. You have to use some kind of check or electronic, payment system. You're not going to be able to use currency. And again, this is just another step into that ultimate, cashless society. Excuse me. Ursula von der Leyen says that the European Union should now consider suspending all social media networks. Right? They need it, and they're selling this as protecting our children. So let's just get rid of social media altogether. And, social media, for whether you like it or you don't like it, in a lot of ways, it's the great equalizer to the New World Order and to these governments, because people can actually post. And you can say, this is where I was and this is what happened, and they can film. Could you imagine if you had no outlet to that at all anymore? The death of the G7, Putin drops devastating GDP numbers, that humiliate the West. If you look at the dynamics of the global GDP over the last 5 years, 49% is represented by BRICS countries, while the G7's contribution is a measly 18%. BRICS overtook the G7 back in 2020, so they already would be the biggest economy. And if they make the switch, which they will, it will render the dollar useless, which is insane to me. Let's see here. Starla says Ursula von der Leyen to me is a spineless beast. Yep. Jen says a foreign government infiltrating our military. Oh, thank you, baby. Infiltrating our military. Is that not treason? Should be. Sorry, my throat gets dry. I get talking too much. You agree I talk too much, babe?
No.
Okay.
Not usually.
Nationwide general strike was organized in more than 75 cities across Italy this week, demanding a complete boycott of Israel and the severance of all ties. So we have protests and riots going on in Italy, and again, this is the Western world. This is modern, right? This isn't, Zimbabwe. This is Italy, right? But it's not just Italy. As you can see here would be Brussels, Belgium. You have riots going on in the streets. Then you move on to the UK, the same exact thing is going on. But that's not it. You go to France. France has fallen. They're claiming in the newspapers that the Islamics, immigrants have completely taken over. Then this one would be Albania, right? Has many, many people in the streets, and they're protesting over a land deal. Apparently the Kushners, but Trump's basically bought up a bunch of land in a Federal Reserve or next to a Federal Reserve there. And this is what they're blaming on the protests, but it's happening in Albania as well. Don't forget Spain, right? Insane scenes of hordes of Africans continue to invade Spain. Spain has this, big open process of, we're going to bring in 500,000 more, 5 million more. We're just going to keep letting, immigrants in. And I'm not, this isn't a pro or anti-immigrant statement, but I tell you, I have a fence and a gate at my property. Why? Right? This isn't complicated, but Spain's involved in it too. Starla says, honestly, it's all leading up to one thing, the tribulation. Italy protest sounds anti-Semitic. Well, and what's interesting is, G-Dog, that's a good point and true. All those protesters are all protesting something different. They're not all the same thing. But I think it's, again, a proof that the people are tired of it. They're sick and tired of it. They're sick and tired of not having a voice. They're sick and tired of, right here in America, of us spending all of this money, working our asses off to work, half of the year for the betterment of the government that then sends our money to the Ukraine and to Israel and to all these other places. And Europe is worse, right? Europe is in worse shape. Packrat says, America, we have teen takeovers. Yep. Emergency alert tones just fired at Newark ICE facility. I don't know if you guys watched any of this, but lots of stuff going on at an ICE facility over there. They've called a curfew. Rashida Tlaib from the government is calling on Hamas supporters to mobilize and take down the United States government. How this is not treason?
Yikes.
How they don't automatically get thrown out of their elected position? I mean, I guess they're elected by the people, but how you could, be an elected politician and actively, speak of the takedown of it, I don't get it. But it's happening here too. So pretty much all of the Western world. And, we talked last week about prepare for the absurd, right? And
absurd.
Right. And, the economy just continues to spiral that way. I don't know if you guys know this, but Wall Street Apes was talking about how Quick Trip has now got these red light scanners in many of their stores, over 1,000 locations, and there are red lights above the refrigerator doors. And if you look in the background of that picture, you can see them back there. You must now use a machine to verify your ID before being allowed to open the refrigerator doors because theft has been so rough, right, in our country. Now they're coming for your coffee. Swiss banker and World Economic Forum agenda contributor Hubert Keller says that the coffee that we all drink emits between 15 and 20 ounces of CO2 per ton for coffee. We must eliminate coffee. Russia just confirmed a new payment infrastructure system to pivot away from the dollars and the euros. We talked about this just a little bit earlier. And they are going to move away from it. And if America loses the reserve currency, we're in big, big trouble. You won't be able to just print your way out of that like they continue to do. The DEI shield is starting to fail. I agree, G-Dog. Again, I think we're going to see more and more and more of this. And I think we need it. Here's one that blew my mind. Squatchy. And just for you, California now will require permits to own houseplants.
Oh.
Citing environmental concerns, California has passed a new law requiring residents to get a state permit and pay an annual photosynthesis tax for every houseplant they own. Officials say unregistered plants will be seized. Unregistered plants will be seized, right? One local resident was reportedly fined $900 for this illegal snake plant. This is how, remember they said you'll own nothing and be happy?
That's crazy.
This is what they mean. Because what they do is they legislate your way to not be able to own anything. If you had to register, imagine if you had to register and pay a tax on every plant you had.
I know, that's crazy.
I couldn't keep
I don't
up.
want that one. Take it with you.
Right. I couldn't keep it. No, they'd fine you for having it.
Oh.
And then you eventually own nothing.
Yeah.
And this is why I think voting on the local level still matters, because you can keep some of this stuff at bay, at least in the short term.
Right.
Right. An American bought a brand new printer. Right. Prepare for the absurd. She goes to print. Blocked. They remotely shut off her print it until I pay a $7.50 a month to use my own printer in my home. HP now will charge a monthly fee based on pages printed. Miss a payment? They'll just disable it. So now I have to pay a service, right, for it. What an insane statistic. If you spent $1 million per day every single day since Jesus was born, you would have spent $740 billion. That's 2% of our national debt. At $1 million a day. Instigator says, how can they be worried about CO2 and not boycott Taco Bell? I have no idea. Yeah, methane. Squadgy says, oh, yay. Yeah, Lazy Lopez says, what? A permit for plants? For plants.
House plants.
Lover and Rampant said, holy shit, I knew the left coast was crazy, but wow. When someone spends millions running for an office that pays $179,000 per year, I think there's a major problem. 100% agreed. Yeah. Pure insanity. Prepare for the absurd. Blackstone is now restricting withdrawals from its flagship Blackstone private credit funding following a spike in investor redemption requests. So, if you guys know who Blackstone is, they got BlackRock, they got all these. Well, Blackstone's another player out there. And they bought basically a lot of real estate and hotels and those kinds of things. And they're now saying there's no money left and you're just going to be screwed. And this is going to have a huge impact on the markets, which by the way, today we're down over 3%. But Economic Ninja said Blackstone just announced it's over. It's done. Most people have no idea what's about to hit the U.S. economy. Trust me, this is the nail in the coffin. I don't know if any of you guys watch Economic Ninja. He's a very interesting guy. I'm going to skip that one. Because we're running out of time. There's some good stuff in here.
Can you turn the light on? I can't see.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. Oh.
I forget it's there because I'm just reading. I'm looking at a bright screen. you know? Ivana Trump announces that she and her husband, Jared Kushner, are building a massive off-grid private island in the middle of the Mediterranean. The island spans 1,400 hectares and currently has no power. They'll be working with some of the world's greatest living architects to bring the vision to life. And I don't know, you guys know this. We talked about this earlier about the bunkers everywhere, but did you guys know that there's a state called Indian Creek Island off of Miami Beach where you have to have $1 billion just to be able to get onto the island to live there? And it's the Rich Boy Club, right? G-Dog said, that's awesome and insane about tax on plants. CNBC World was promoting capturing carbon and putting it in the earth. NPR last year was talking about carbon choking Mother Earth. Crazy. Yep, the ninja knows Travis. Yeah, absolutely insane stuff that's going on in our world. You guys know I'm pretty much against all laws, rules, but here's one I can absolutely get behind. This was in Missouri, but Missouri passed the Bentley and Mason law. And basically what it says is that if there is a drunk driver who kills a parent, that drunk driver is now on the hook for child support for that child until they turn 18 years old.
For drunk driving?
Yep. So if you're drinking and driving and you get in an accident and you kill somebody, not only are you going to prison, but you're also going to be on the hook for child support for that child until that child becomes an adult.
I wonder how you're going to pay child support in prison.
You're probably not in prison, but as soon as you get out, they're going to start, and I bet you they get you with the back child support too. But as crazy as that is from Missouri, right, it gets worse in other places. New York Democrats just voted to erase the words mother and father. Governor Kathy Hochul will be replacing mother with gestating parent and father with non-gestating parent.
Oh my
God.
God.
This isn't inclusion, it's insanity. While New Yorkers battle sky-high taxes, crime, and failing schools, the state is obsessed with rewriting biology and the English language. Real parents don't need woke bureaucrats redefining them. So in New York, you will no longer be a mother, you will be a gestating parent, and you will no longer be a father, you'll be a non-gestating parent. How cool is that? I always wanted to be a non-gestating parent. How do you feel about that?
That's crazy.
You want to be a gestating parent?
No.
I'm glad I got to this one because this actually comes from the audience tonight. But there was a post from WA County Health Services, and it said, our Midwest crew knows the best way to keep you and others safe from the flu this winter is to get your shot. And David Strom put it up, and I just started laughing. And you look down at it, you don't really notice anything interesting about it. Except there were over, if you at the time I looked at it, there were 6.3 thousand laughing emojis, 298 thumbs up, 212 mad, 82 crying. It absolutely blew me away. And then by the time I went to put it in the live, there was another update that said over 8,000 laughs. So they're getting totally laughed at. Again, I think people are beginning to stand up. David says, does that mean the pharmaceutical corporations will be on the hook for the parents they kill? Oh, I wish it worked like that, right, David? Wouldn't that be great? I can hear the conversations with your kids. Don't talk to me like that. I'm your gestating parent. Right.
I am your gestating parent.
You can imagine.
I am your mother.
Yeah, like we were talking about earlier about how we make the whole country makes a claim. We were talking about the snapping turtles. There's almost no cases of it. It's super, super rare, but let's keep everybody out of the pond just in case. Last year, I don't know if you guys know this or not, but Died Suddenly reported there was 13 tetanus deaths in the U.S. over the last decade. Okay? So 13. That means 1.3 a year. Okay? You can't, and you can get the shot right after an injury if you actually need it. But yet babies are given 5 doses at birth. When there is 1.3 cases per year, and you can get it once you have it. Why are we doing it? Don't make any sense. Oh, good. Look at that. Right on time.
Oh, my goodness. Look at you.
Man, look at that. Look at that.
It's like you did it on purpose.
And you guys can see us. I'm not sitting in the dark. And you could hear us tonight. Yeah.
All winning.
B lost her phone twice. Right?
I found it twice.
Did you?
I found it once.
Who found it the other time?
You did.
Okay.
Yes, I bent over to pick saw blades up out of the yard and dropped my phone.
Bandsaw blades for the big sawmill.
Bandsaw blades.
How can they have gestating and non-gestating when they don't know what a woman is and men can have babies? I think this is a great point.
Well, because
What?
you're either a gestating or a non-gestating.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's you can go back and fight that, and you can say, "Hey, how do you know I'm gestating or not? Are you judging me?
I am a non-gestating.
I identify as gestating."
Now.
That's a hey, Jess. That's a T-shirt. I identify as gestating. That's hilarious. Oh my goodness.
Gestator.
Yep. I'm a gestator. Just date her.
Just date her.
Nobody will get it. That'd be funny.
Faraday. Have a Faraday.
Just date her. Anyway,
Just ate her.
you got any parting words?
I just ate her.
You want to get out of here with before we get out of here? You have 11 seconds. You want me to start?
Sure.
I would just say this. Did you guys know that the last time who's just dating? The last time they raised minimum wage was 2009. Okay, so the low income workers, I'm pretty much opposed to minimum wage. I think the best thing you can do is get rid of it. But in minimum wage, the low end workers in our country haven't had a raise since 2009 on the federal level. Do you guys know how many times Congress has had a raise increase since that same period? Any idea? 27.
I was going to say 6.
They've had 27 wage increases since the exact same time that the most needy, the people who could use it the most in our society, haven't had any. Nobody's coming to help you guys. They're not coming to save you. You're not voting your way out of this. You're not wishing your way out of this. The only way you're going to get out of this is you got to go build community. You got to go find other ways. You got to prepare for yourself. You got to take energy seriously. You got to take your food seriously, because at the end of the day, we're going to have to go prepare for the absurd. And I'm going to continue to point out the absurdity because it's crazy. And every day it seems to get a little bit worse. So my parting words, as we said last week, will be this week: prepare for the absurd. Nobody's coming to help.
I like prepare for the absurd.
That's a T-shirt.
Because it is getting more absurd. Things that you're just like, that can't happen.
Love runs rampant says, "These on it tonight, in your butt, and just ate her."
I know. After I said that, I was like, what?
You know, my wife, I'm going to tell you guys, is brilliant in a lot of things. There are a lot of things that puts her in the upper echelons of intelligence, but those 2 comments weren't one of them.
Yeah, there's some here and there.
Yeah, Lazy Lopez says, our city just voted in a 3% increase for themselves. Yeah. You got anything you want to add, babe?
No.
Put it on good?
Yeah.
All right, guys. We love you. We see you guys in a week. Hopefully, I'll get that barn project wrapped up. Hopefully, we'll get to the auction and we'll find some good buys. Hopefully, B will get everything in the garden that's still waiting to get in the garden because it is June. And hopefully, you guys are a little freer tomorrow than you were today. Keep working on that infrastructure. Keep working on being less dependent. And we will see you guys in a week.
Yeah.
Good night, everybody.